Good afternoon. This is Logical MGTOW. I'm Logical MGTOW Spock. Granted, I'm not wearing my Starfleet uniform, but still. I'm making this video in response to a particular feminist who claims that she understands MGTOW, but yet she really doesn't. Because if she did, she wouldn't say, "I don't especially like MGTOW." And this person's name is, of course, or she goes by ChristyOMisty. She apparently claims to understand MGTOW to the point to where we men have a choice of going on various levels to where we don't deal with women in her point of view, and to where we do, but we don't cohabitate with them, and we do not go to the points of wedlock. But then she says that she doesn't especially like MGTOW, and she believes that there are good women out there. ChristyOMisty, Logical MGTOW Spock knows that many men, even MGTOW men, have heard that before from many different women. You're not the first. ChristyOMisty, you should know this. Thereby, when we men have or do meet a good woman, ChristyOMisty, there's one particular thing you're not really focusing on. And you know it happens. You, a female, ChristyOMisty, knows the fucking shit happens. So, and this one particular thing that I'm referring to here is right when we get emotionally close to her, or she gets emotionally close to us, it goes to the points where she sees something that we don't see. Okay? The basic fact is because one, the woman goes into the marital thought. The part of spending and sharing one's life, each other's life with each other, essentially. And thereby, of course, if she then becomes not happy, which happens more often than not now, especially nowadays, even when the man is doing nothing wrong, she ends up going on to like search for other people while she's married or in a relationship with a woman, with a man, essentially. And I've experienced this myself. Okay, I've been in relationships that where they claim to be faithful, yet I've seen at least about two of them, 2 separate years, granted. Okay, ChristyOMisty. The basic fact is that women claim to be faithful, women claim to be good, faithful, loyal, devoted, but yet, right when they go to the points of emotional unhappiness and try to blame the guy for it, when it's really logically not the guy's fucking fault, then they go to the points of, like, if they're married already, for example, then they go to the points of divorce court. Then the guy gets his shit taken from him at a variable percentage. Sometimes a high, sometimes a moderate, sometimes somewhere in between. And thereby, women have been using the court system in the most illogical of ways, even when the guy hasn't been unfaithful to them, but yet the woman's been unfaithful to the guy. So you cannot say that there is good women out there at ChristyOMisty, because there isn't. We MGTOW men would not be MGTOW if there was, for one. But yet there are, but in another aspect, there we would be MGTOW, but yet we wouldn't want to go. A number of us still wouldn't want to go in the same bullshit, deal with the same bullshit of the female hypergamy, the female indecisiveness, which happens more often than not nowadays, especially, and the so-called entitlement bullshit. It's like the woman is entitled to get things that both of them, both the man and the woman, cannot financially and logically afford within their basic budget and income situation. But yet the woman expects the guy to get it for her anyway, even if it bankrupts him alone before marriage, even during marriage. So, ChristyOMisty, you do not know shit about MGTOW. And the other part of it is, let me see what else you say here.
They're scarce, but I think they're out there. And I don't like this notion of, one gender entirely ignoring or in some cases demonizing another.
ChristyOMisty, when you said the one gender demonizing another, more often than not, ChristyOMisty, your gender being the female feminist bullshitters and the sinful bitches of America, essentially, you and your gender, ChristyOMisty, demonize us men way more than we demonize you women. Way more. I've heard it. I was raised by women. And yet I'm a strong, confident man. And self-assured. And I've been in relationships, I've been in marriage, and I've been in dating situations, even before marriage. And I've been in various different situations, even in the quote unquote friend zone. You women take advantage of that friend zone crap. And with that, you lead us men on while we're in the friend zone. You women lead us men on as if you want to build up our confidence. But yet, when we're at times when your male friend is with another woman, you don't like that because you want him to favor you over the other woman. And I know many women will say, no, I want him to be happy. I want him to be happy. I want him to be happy. And if he's happy with her and she's happy with him, that's okay with me. Bullshit. The basic fact is, psychologically speaking, is that if one woman has any number of guys in the friend zone, even one of them is in a relationship focused on another woman, that one woman that had the guy in the friend zone gets very, very, very emotionally unstable. And to the points of jealousy, to the points of insecurity, non-rational, all sorts of shit. And it's usually, it doesn't always have to be the one that you favor the most in the friend zone. It goes to the points to where women use that friend zone, and eventually it's hardly ever done. And we MGTOW men know this. Even I, more often than not, because I know the male and female psyche. Is that only very, very seldomly, if at all, which is practically unheard of still, is that the woman eventually tries one of her male friends in the dating sense of points of a possible relationship. But in between, she counts on him for not only emotional support, and whatnot, but also cash, as if you're in a relationship with the dude when you're really not, and yet he's in the friend zone. So, ChristyOMisty, the basic fact is, you women sin more, way more than us men nowadays. When there's men like myself that don't cheat on women, but yet you women cheat on us men because of your indecisiveness, your emotional dislike of yourself, and unsureness, and what have you else. And the basic fact is, I can help many people because I know psychology. And outside of MGTOW, I'm a humanitarian citizen, business, and education, and disability, and health advocate. But with the base of MGTOW, I understand it better than you will ever. And yes, there are women that understand it way better than you. I know that for a fact. They may not like it, they may not agree with it, but they understand it. But you, ChristyOMisty, have no recourse and no true level of understanding anything but what you peddle. And what you and your little female feminist friends gossip about. Yeah, we men talk, but we don't talk to the points of totally demonizing you women unless you really piss us off and try to make fun of us and laugh at us and shit like that, and various other aspects of illogical, sinful actions. And and a number of you women claim to be so spiritually godlike, God fearing essentially, when you're not. Yet those God fearing women would not do a guy wrong if they're in a relationship with a guy. Yet many of them, many women who claim to be God fearing, spiritual, all spiritual cleanse, and all this other spiritual nomenclature, if you want to call it that. They go without even provocation, without even a thought of what they would be doing to the male that they're dating or in a relationship with, or even in marriage with. And they go behind the dude's back and cheat on him with another guy or even another woman at times nowadays. And a number of you women, and a good large percentage of you women, do not repent for your sins. But even if you did and you repeated the same shit, like I've seen on Cheaters, and that Cheaters is not scripted, it's live actual footage. And yes, Cheaters comes on really late at night, like between 1, 2 in the morning, sometimes 3 or 4, depending on the time of day and their programming schedule, whichever channel has it in your area, in anyone's area, essentially. The basic fact is, ChristyOMisty, you do not understand the male gender. You do not understand anything but what you peddle, and what you peddle is nonsense. You may have an emotional tie and understanding about why men are going MGTOW, and you have a judgmental bullshit assessment of why and what you understand and all this other shit. But guess what? Women get cheated on, yes. But you women have cheated on us men way more since the 1990s. And it's continued on through the millennium. Let me see what else you have to say.
That being said, I do not and cannot blame MGTOW men at all. And I completely empathize, or at least sympathize. I empathize in whatever way I can as a woman. I'm not a man, and I haven't.
ChristyOMisty, you do not know the level of empathy. You're a female bitch. You're a feminist. All you want is a man and his resources. Just like every other man, just like every other woman. You want him to favor you and to only focus on you. And even if he was to do what a man has done for any woman that's humanly possible, you would still do him wrong. I know that for a fucking fact because of the female indecisiveness, ChristyOMisty. Your so-called illogical high entitlements, which is a sin. Your hypergamy, which is also a sin. If you're really spiritual, and I know many women are. I know many women who are, and those women there are those that do go against the Bible, even though they claim that they are spiritually connected, and there are those that I know that are spiritually connected and in relationships and or marriage, and they don't cheat. But the basic fact is that their men don't cheat on them either. And the ones that have been cheated on, they don't cheat on their women, even though the women have done them wrong. ChristyOMisty. So, ChristyOMisty, you are completely out in the sidelines, watching, trying to truly understand men when men, there are still men out there trying to truly understand you women, but I understand women better than you realize. And yes, it's not because I was raised by women, and it, in some respect, it is because I know psychology, and then I know the full aspect and full generalization of and what have you else of the female psyche. The basic fact is, many men are going with the base of Tom Likas. My mentor, and in a way he was to me a not only not only in some respect a teacher and things that I wasn't really aware of, but also he was that of what many MGTOW men would call a person that knows, because he's been married 4 times and got practically screwed over each of those 4 times by the indecisiveness and illogical actions and what have you of and from the women, and with their high entitlements and expecting him to spend more than he really knew to be logical, even in the months or years of marriage or in a relationship with a woman. You women don't get the fucking fact that it's not about you 100% in the marriage or relationship. You and if you want to have a logical, long lasting, long standing relationship all the way through from till the time that you fucking pass away, when you're done living on this planet, essentially, by natural causes, essentially. You will never get that way. You women will never get that way, the way things are going right now. With you guys with your indecisiveness, with your hypergamy, your emotional um constant questioning shit and men, and judging men, and judging yourselves and various other things, which basically is not logical. It only questioning things is only logical to a certain extent. Questioning yourself can be only logical only to a smaller extent. Questioning men is never, from women, it's never a positive. It's never a logical, and it's not unsinful. It is majorly sinful. If you question, you might as well say, I'm judging you men. We women can judge you men, but you men can't judge us women. We can call you pigs and all this other stuff because that's what you are. But you can't call us bitches and sluts and skanks and hoes and all this other shit. The basic fact is also that's another aspect too. You women, when it comes to relationships, thinks that you think you can call the shots. You think you can fucking just control the guy like he's some sort of character off of a fucking video game or some fucking robot. Give me your wallet, and then you fucking do this type of shit, right? And then you're like, and you see the dude going like, "Here's my wallet," type of thing. That's what you expect. You women expect. The base of you having more control than the guy when it's supposed to be fucking 50-50 all the way through in relationships as well as marriage. And if there's something that you're not too sure of, then logically and psychologically, it's better to talk it calmly and rationally. But you women always put things into to non-perspectives to the points of drama, like the soap opera, like As the World Turns in General Hospital and fucking The Young and the Restless and shit like that. And yes, I know that you women, even from teenage and the preteens, you have watched those soap operas. And even Sex in the City, the movie, and the episodes. They help you get a better perspective on men from Carrie and the rest of her friends on the damn show and the movie. To help you young women understand men when they don't even understand men to the logical aspects. It's all scripted. Hell, even soap operas are scripted. But you women want to go to the points of getting things into a dramatic thing, to something that you feel that's like life, that you're dealing with within your own self. Drama is not life. Cheating on your man is not is not way to be just because you're unsure about shit or about anything. If you're unsure, if you should be with a guy, you shouldn't be with a guy in the fucking first place. Hell, you shouldn't even be married to the dumbass. And you being the bitch, and the dumbass being in the one that would be going into agreeing with you on the aspect. Oh yeah, I'll marry you, honey. Type of thing. That's why I would. That's why I would call him a dumbass. Other than that, no. But I would call you a fucking bitch. I would call the woman a bitch just so she can get at his resources better and easier with everything under your name as well as his. And then it was brought up to my attention that many women are now going, they will not be with a man fully and totally if they don't get a license. It could be a marriage license, it could be a driver's license, it could be any type of license. And that's illogical. And it's very sinful, judgmental as well. Let's see what else you have to say.
Experience the things that they have, but I try to put myself in their shoes. I think that's an important part of being a human being if you're going to show compassion to anyone.
Women do not know how to show compassion. They have lost the ability to love in every level way and what have you else, ChristyOMisty.
Honestly, MGTOW is a logical and strategic response to the feminist world in which we live and to the insane reality that our legislative system has imposed on men. Legislative system being the operative words here, right? Because men and women
Legislative, now you want to get political? ChristyOMisty, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
alike suffer in this life and deal with injustice and the
Yeah, men deal with injustice, ChristyOMisty, but guess what? Women think that they are dealing with more such of an unjust world. I've heard it left and right more than I've heard it from any other gender that's in the same gender as I am.
deal with broken relationships and divorce, find themselves unwilling to trust again. But
Women have the base of distrust more than men do, you idiot, ChristyOMisty.
system, so we're talking legislatively, right, on a systemic
No,
level, and then we're talking
not
also socially,
legislatively.
societally. Our system backs women and throws men under the bus. Two of the most obvious ways that this is done is through no-fault divorce and gender-based family law. Now, not speaking for MGTOW men at all, but from what I've heard and observed, it's not that all MGTOW men think that all women would ruin their lives if given half the chance. Some of them do believe that, but not all.
Geez, you are completely misconstrued. All men in MGTOW know that women will do anything and try anything to screw over a man. In fact, there was one video, ChristyOMisty, that said all men should die. So, ChristyOMisty, you don't know shit.
Them do. What they believe is that any woman could ruin their lives, legally could ruin their lives if given the chance. And they have no idea of knowing which women are risky and which women aren't. And if they run into one of these,
all women have a various level of risk, you idiot, ChristyOMisty. Even you yourself has a level of risk because everything has to favor the woman. Everything has to favor the woman on anything, especially when it comes to itemized bullshit. If you get me this, I'll stay with you. If you do this for me, I'll stay with you. If you do this for me, if you buy this from this extravagant bullshit of thing that I don't really need, I'll stay with you. That is also sinful right there of what women do. So don't bullshit, ChristyOMisty.
these psychotic women, our legal system will be on her side. That is the important point that we need to grasp here. Now, I consider it my privilege, really, to have spoken with and heard the stories of hundreds of MGTOW men and MRAs over the years, probably over the last decade or so. These are men who have been marginalized, maligned, slandered, defamed, fired without due process, unjustly imprisoned, violently assaulted with everything from broken glass to hammers, aware that if they go to police, they would be the ones in trouble, raped and disbelieved, and if you don't think that a man can be raped unless he's pinned down by a woman several hundred pounds heavier than he is, maybe we need to do another video on rape. They've been brought up on false charges of domestic violence by women who injured themselves in order to frame these men. They've had their children taken away.
You're listing, ChristyOMisty, the very things that you have done to men as well in the wrong and unjust actions and the very, very, very false reports. So don't act like you're innocent.
By the mother, had their children put up for adoption by the mother, had their children aborted by the mother, all of this against their will. Falsely accused of child abuse by their ex-wives who wanted full custody, had their life earnings taken away, and made a slave to outrageous alimony and child support payments. All legally sanctioned, thanks to the Duluth model and various other pieces of total nonsense that have informed and influenced and shaped our legislative system. We're talking about hurt on a colossal level here. We're talking about shattered lives, completely shattered lives and reputations. Some of these men have experienced this personally, others vicariously, but very closely, through.
ChristyOMisty, I can make your life as well as many other women's lives a living hell in the sense to show how less and how not quite as much as you think you know.
Brothers or fathers or close friends. Others have simply looked around, even at the headlines sometimes and thought, well, good grief, it's not worth the risk. And quite frankly, if I were a man out in today's world, I would be asking myself why the heck I would risk it. I would at the very least be taking huge precautions. So you've heard me use Karen Straughn's analogy before about a guy who's kicked in the groin repeatedly over and over and over again. He finally yells out in pain, and the person kicking him says, wow, what an extreme reaction. MGTOW is an extreme reaction, but it's
ChristyOMisty, MGTOW is not an extreme reaction. It's a philosophy, and it's not an extreme one at that. So guess what, ChristyOMisty? You have been called a bitch, a lying sinner, and yes, we all sin at some point or another, but also, ChristyOMisty, you do not know shit, and you're just trying to demonize it because you want men to go back to the plantation so you and other women can fucking take our resources. You stupid, uncaring, self-righteous little fucking skank.
not unwarranted. And I think we really need to understand that. Is MGTOW good for society? No.
No. Feminism is not good for society. Feminism has screwed you over except for the ERA, ChristyOMisty. And yes, I'm old enough to know about the ERA, being the Equal Rights Amendment feminist movement of the 1970s. Thereby before the Equal Rights Amendment Bill was put into fruition. So basically, the only one of the two movements, if you want to call them MGTOW movement, even though it's a philosophy, and with the feminist and the Me Too movement, the only three of those particular quote unquote movements, what many people still call MGTOW, obviously, as well as the feminist and Me Too movements. The only two movements that are not good for society is the feminist and the Me Too movement. The MGTOW movement is right, just, and steadfast and strong, and it's better for the base of society more than you want to admit because you're a fucking female and you don't fucking want men to fucking go away from women. You want them to fucking be subservient, blue-pilled little fuckheads and simps to where you women control them, you fucking ChristyOMisty. You don't know shit.
Can I blame any man who chooses that path? Also an unequivocal no. Like I said, there are going to be men in the movement who are in it for the wrong reasons, who don't.
No man's in the base of MGTOW for the wrong reasons, you stupid, sinful, judgmental, jackass bitch, ChristyOMisty. You don't know shit. Men don't go into philosophies or what you call movements for just the hell of it, or what you just said being the wrong reason. There's no wrong reason when it comes to men going their own way, away from the feminist little bitch who's done them wrong and the other bitches that have done them wrong in their past. Because women have a past too, and they don't like talking about it. I know that for a fucking fact. Yet they fucking try to make the man pay for all the shit that was done to them in the woman's past. Yet, yet when they do that, they think they're justified and just by doing so to the man that did not do them wrong. So you don't know shit about what you're saying. The society base, when it comes to any particular what you want to call movements, MGTOW is the best one for society, the best one for men, and no man goes into MGTOW for the wrong reason. Females have started shit for the wrong, illogical reason.
Really have much cause to be so bitter.
Men do not get better. Women get better. We're not old hags like you women turn out to be, ChristyOMisty.
MGTOW may be co-opted in the future, may already be, for all I know. I don't know enough to know these things. What I do know is that MGTOW is not the problem. It is only a symptom.
Wrong. MGTOW is not a symptom. ChristyOMisty, you are brain dead. I've been watching ChristyOMisty's video here while I'm making this video, MGTOW Brothers, and she is completely misconstruing things left and right, brothers. She doesn't know shit, as you could tell by my reaction.
And the solution to this growing number, or our growing MGTOW numbers, is the defeat of feminism. Period. It's not to try to reason with men or get them to quit choosing to go their own way, because that's a very unnatural thing for a man to do. The fact that men have gotten to this point.
ChristyOMisty, do you know that the more you judge and try to justify men and their reasons for going MGTOW, you are ever so gradually and steadily reaching for the pit of hell for such of a sinful judgment. No woman was put on this fucking planet, like men are not put on this fucking planet, to judge. But yet you women judge us men, ChristyOMisty, way more so than anything in the fucking ballpark or any known fucking metaphorical aspect, man. ChristyOMisty, you are a fucking feminist, judgmental spinster of a bitch. You do not know shit about MGTOW. You do not understand men as you women claim that you do. But get this. As I said earlier, ChristyOMisty, you, to you, and I've told to if many other women are watching this, I don't care. But the basic fact is, and I know many MGTOW brothers are watching this, but the basic fact is, ChristyOMisty, you do not have any justified place, and no spiritual being put you women on this fucking planet to place judgment and sinful, wrongful assumptions about us men, even against us men. Yes, there are men that do that to you women, but guess what? More often than not, you women have done it to us men more than anybody can count. So guess what, ChristyOMisty? The more you act like a spinster little old hag in what you were gradually turning out to be, and it doesn't matter how much oil of Olay or any other face cream that you use, you're still going to be an old hag eventually. You're just venting out your frustrations that no man wants to be with your type of and level of women, which is pretty low actually, because you are not happy with you psychologically. You are not happy with your own life. So how can you truly be happy with a man in your life? ChristyOMisty, I can easily give you a psychological course of things that you haven't really put in your little female feminist mind because you don't want to acknowledge the real truth of you feminist females and your inadequacies and your other aspects of illogical bullshit that you even do to us men. And you think you're justified by doing so, while the fucking court system, and on top of that, white knights for your fucking feminist bitch asses. When really things are supposed to be 50-50 in society as well as in marriage and relationships. But you women want it to be 90-0 to 90-20 or 90-10 or 90-0-9 or 0.09 or 0.01. Being the higher percentage, being you want it, you fucking feminist females want the higher percentage, and you don't care what percentage for us men, as long as it's lower than fucking shit. ChristyOMisty, you want to fucking talk with me? I'm here, man. Logical MGTOW Spock, I'm right here. You want to know the real truth of men versus females, seeing that I know the male and female psyche better than you realize? ChristyOMisty, you don't know shit. You're just venting like any other feminist little bitch would. Because I want to get at a guy's resources. I want him to favor me and buy me all the extravagant bullshit things that I don't really need. But I'm gonna act like I do want them in order for him to be with me, and he has to do everything I tell him to do, and even if it's against his own human rights. I don't care as long as I get what I want. As a woman, that's a small child aspect, ChristyOMisty. Getting things illogically and to the points of high expectations. And in order to be with a person, that's a base of favoritism for the woman, but not really logically favoritism for the relationship, or both equally, the male as well as the female. You can justify it all you want, ChristyOMisty, but guess what? You'll be in the wrong. You want to go to the points of sinful judgment? You're doing a good job about it on this video known as Men Going Our Own Way that you labeled it on May 11th, 2018. You are just venting out frustrations because you want men to be subservient, blue pill little fuckers to you fucking feminist females, to where you have more say so again in the relationship and marriage, and the guy has to be like a fucking zombie for you women, to where you only see him with no brain. Where you're basically where he's the fucking genie and you're the fucking person that wants shit from the genie. Doesn't work that way in reality, and it will never work that in reality, and you will be judged for your bullshit. Thereby, you will be falling into the pits of hell with Satan, Lucifer himself, along with other women that will go and follow the same fucking suit, spiritually as well as logically. You want to talk to me, and I'll tell you straight up more. And I'm not kidding. I'm not yelling or angry about it. I'm saying it. I'm saying it calmly. I may be saying it loud, yes, but the basic fact is, I'm telling the fucking truth, ChristyOMisty. Us MGTOW men do not like your fucking crap. And by the way, MGTOW brothers, I will put this video on the link below, and you will hear all the shit that she vents out. Let's see what else she has to say.
Should make us use our heads and think, what is going on that has driven them to this point? And feminism is the answer. Systemic feminism. Feminism that has influenced all of our institutions and has made life a living hell for many more men than most people are.
ChristyOMisty, do you realize there's many women, even young women, that have said that feminism has made it harder on them, not easy, not justifiable, not anything positive? There are many young women, even on YouTube, that have said that. So basically, feminism for you women is not the answer unless you want to be single spinsters, only getting fucked and left by men, not with no future with a man, no chance of getting at his resources. In which basically, us MGTOW men will never allow that to happen. And not go and to where you women go to the illogical, sinful other aspects and actions and the false pretenses and whatnot else that are false and illogical and sinful. So guess what? You're a fucking spinster little hag, fucking ChristyOMisty. You don't know shit.
Are aware of.
So again, MGTOW brothers, I will be putting that link on to the bottom of the description. You'll see why I said what I said when I mentioned ChristyOMisty. There are many women like her, and yes, I do know this male and female psyche. I'm not Einstein or nothing, but the basic fact is I do understand it better than she may think or even realize. I can say that even ChristyOMisty has the complexity of a fucking gnat. The basic where she has dug herself a big fucking hole of resentment, emotional, psychological anxiety from within her, and she's gotten to the point, as many other women have as well, to where she's basically hating the fact that men are going their own way. Men should be going after women, and to where women can get at their resources and do men in every way possible, in every way and chance that a woman gets, that a man gives the woman the chance to. It's not ChristyOMisty doesn't realize to women love is not in the picture. True love, spiritual true love, honesty, respect, decency, and all this other positive stuff that even Heavenly Father would want us to go by and to strive through and keep on going positively through in the spiritual positive aspects. Women, even in today's day and age, have lost the ability, the base of thought. All they want is something for them when it comes to our resources, to where they can better themselves. And who the hell fucking gives a shit about what happens to us men, even financially and economically? They've gone to that sinful action. And they think that they're going to be justified and they're going to be forgiven by Heavenly Father for doing that type of shit. No, it's gone on too long, too fucking much. ChristyOMisty should know this. And many women will ignore this. Even when they fucking claim that they're spiritually connected when they're really not. Because if they were, a number of them, like I said, they're spiritually connected, but yet a number of them have cheated. And yet a number of them, those same numbers, even moderately, have not repented. And even if they do, they keep repeating the same sinful actions, married or in a relationship or not, or even in the beginning of it, right? The basic fact is that women do not know love. There was a MGTOW member that said that women are love, men are some other thing to it, right? Dude, MGTOW brother, when you said that women are love, women, like I said earlier, women do not know how to love anymore. So women are not love. The basic fact is women do not know shit of how to love anymore, logically and even spiritually and realistically. To the points to where they're actually living with the guy through their whole entire existence, like it is said to be in the Bible, in accordance to the Bible. Women are only out for themselves. They don't give a damn if their children is taken away from the guy, to where the woman thinks that she can do better without the guy, even with said child or children. And yet that goes to the points of where the male child goes to the points of confusion and resentment, and he more than the child as well as the female child acts out, and they think they can fucking handle that shit. And then like years later, when that actually happens, they can't. Then they expect the guy, the father, to use the alimony to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars for psychiatric help for the child as well as the mother. Women don't realize that if they were really logical and really up here with a base of common sense, especially, then there would be no need for it. Maybe for the marital aspect, maybe yeah, that's normal, but not to the points to where they think they can handle raising a child or children by themselves. In the long run, takes the guy for everything he has in divorce court. Then, when the child or children, male or female or both, being if they have one more than one child, essentially, in that sense, in the both sense anyway, uh, they find that they can't handle it. They're at their wits' end. They're beside themselves. All sorts of shit, right? So women, like I said, MGTOW brothers and future MGTOW brothers, uh, women don't know shit. Women think they know us men more than more than we men know them. That may be true to a certain extent by those young men because they're still learning. But it's still seen in the same and generalization and aspect. It's not good to judge, no matter what. Women were not put on this planet to judge or negatively, sinfully assume of others, even in the same gender as. We men do it, yes, but we know it's not spiritually sound. At least most of us do. So ChristyOMisty doesn't know shit, much like the other feminist little bitches The spinster little bitch fucking hacks. ChristyOMisty doesn't know shit except for what she peddles because she goes to the points of emotional psychological frustration and to the points of trying to better understand it, but yet she can't because she doesn't truly want to understand it. It's the same with every fucking feminist out there. And like it or not, it's the truth. It is. The basic fact is, MGTOW brothers and feminist bitches, if you're watching, even ChristyOMisty, the basic fact is women have been taught a lot of shit. Some percentage of them were positive. The other part was due to the mother's frustrations and hateful aspects towards men. Even the hateful aspects and levels that a child, even a female child, should not be around to hear and witness. Even a bit with a bit of vulgarity. And women who do this type of shit in the mother aspects do not realize what they're saying right in front of their child and thinks that the child would have a better understanding later on, but knows not to use it until possibly they're much older, if at all. But what little do they realize, they children are like sponges in the sense that anything that they witness or experience, even from the mother, they'll act it out in their own way that they have of a better understanding within themselves. And it can happen to a classmate. It can happen to a cousin, nephew, or niece. It could happen to a brother, sister, and it could happen to a friend, a neighbor friend, child, member. It could happen to the mother's workers' kids, being the mother's coworkers' kids, essentially. So when women are not really up here when they think that they can handle and raise a child better without the father, because it's not psychologically sound without the father. Of course, yeah, if the father beats the woman, that's one thing. But when with the false accusations and things that women have done more often than not, it's not. It's not psychologically sound to separate a child from their father. Because I know there are many men out there that would not do a harm to their child, even if they had a particular bit of, say, burst of anger, and without even thinking, may have hit the woman. Right? Women do the same thing without thinking and hit the man. I've seen it. In fact, it happens more often than the man hits the woman. And when women hit the men, they think they can get away with it. And a larger at times turns out to be a large percentage of the time the woman does get away with it because she comes up with a phony bullshit story. So ChristyOMisty doesn't know shit what she peddled on that video, in which I will again put on the description below. If and I it, by the time you watch this video, it's already down there. I know psychology. I have a logical psychiatry page on Facebook. And I know I know more than ChristyOMisty realizes. Yes, you don't need to know a person to know, and even by my vocalization, she may think, "Oh, he doesn't know. He's misconstruing things." I'm not misconstruing shit. Women misconstrued shit way more than fucking men will ever. In fact, when there was a MGTOW brother that mentioned when a man's talking to another female after his wife or girlfriend has gone to the restroom, and the woman comes out from the restroom, whether she washes her hands or not, and basically she had better either way wash her hands because it's disgusting. And I know women bitch about it when men don't wash their hands after using the restroom. Um, and she asks, who's this you're talking to? Like, who is she? Like, she automatically has the assumption slash judgment of thinking that he, the man that she's going with in a relationship or married to, is about to step out on her. But yet if the tables were turned and the guy came out of the restroom, oh, don't worry, honey, he's just a close friend of our friends. Yet right when the guy takes it further than that, then they get all upset, as if us guys don't have a right to have a logical reason to be upset when they suspect something. When us men suspect something that could easily be happening, but yet the wife or girlfriend or fiance, or the female fiance or girlfriend essentially, doesn't want him to really truly know. But yet she'll fucking gossip it with her female friends. The truth versus the BS that she tells her boyfriend or male fiance and or husband. Really tangled web, isn't it? That the female feminist bitches weave and try to skate right through as if it's no big thing, as if they can do it, but men cannot do it. So, MGTOW brothers, I urge you to uh, really think about this and pass this on to every other friend of ours in the MGTOW philosophy grouping. And also pass this on to those who have gone through relationships. And if they want to know more, I'd be happy to talk to them and tell them more. Guaranteed. Thereby, I will also tell you more because I know psychology damn well. And yes, I can use spirituality to it if I feel the need to, and if I basically if I feel it necessary. As I did when I was watching ChristyOMisty's little feminist little spinster video, and the date I said earlier while this video was running and still being made. The basic fact is that women, the feminist woman, especially ChristyOMisty, doesn't know shit. They don't really want to know. They don't really want to understand why men have gone their own way because they don't like the fucking fact that men have gone their own way. That's why she said that. That's one of many reasons why she said that. MGTOW's not good for society, but feminism is, and feminism will never be good for society. MGTOW is good for society for the just base of men getting screwed over by the fucking courts and women, emotionally, psychologically, and financially. and also in a spiritual sense as well. But women don't want to look at it that way because they want to be the only ones to be favored and agreed with. They don't want men to be agreed with. They don't want anyone to agree with men and truly understand the base and logic of men. Because women think that they are the most logical beings on the fucking face of the planet when they're really not. They don't know the real, true concept of logic. I do, though. Even though I'm a man, I do know the real aspect and level and concept of logic. My friend, Mr. Hate Vicious, knows it in his own way. My friend, Mike the MGTOW Man, knows it in his own way. The base of logic. And realistic shit, too. And even common sense as well. And my friend James Von Maxwell, the MGTOW hamster, knows it in his own way. Many of my MGTOW brothers know this, and we will teach you, future MGTOW members, the same thing. Just ask. This is Logical MGTOW Spock. Live long and prosper. Stay strong. Stay true to yourself. And stay free from feminism and the feminist spinster bitches like ChristyOMisty. Have a good day. May Heavenly Father bless you and guide you through your day to day. All right, I got it. Anyways, sorry about that, my neighbor. Anyway, the basic fact is that ChristyOMisty doesn't know shit. So stay strong, stay free from feminism, listen to Tom Likas, get more teachings from him by watching his videos on YouTube, as well as I believe BitChute might have it as well. And believe me, MGTOW will always stay strong, and it is logical, way more logical than feminism will ever be. Have a good day, MGTOW brothers and future MGTOW brothers. Stay safe.